Welcome again after lunch. We are just on time. A couple of speakers arrived during lunch break, so I'm pretty happy that the majority of speakers of this afternoon will be there, available, virtually or physically. Thanks again. Now I'm a bit relaxed, knowing that everything is working, and the Swiss Chrono management is happy. Are you happy, Henry? Yes. Okay, good. Oh, yeah, got it. Okay, so this afternoon I will also, you may think about it, we are invited to do a little forest excursion tomorrow morning in the forest of the city of Wittstock. I will ask again who is motivated, willing, have the time to join us. Mr. Bischof, who is the forester here, he was here. So, counting on my personal experience, I'm invited for hunting in Wittstock, so this is something I appreciate very much. So, yeah, welcome again, and we just kick off. We have a couple of, again, virtual pitches this afternoon of our second startup cluster. But the startup cluster presentation is introduced by Midral Parik. He is investment analyst with the European Circular Bioeconomy Fund, one of the major funds which is specialized in investing in sustainability solutions along the entire value chain of sustainability, say new material, forest, water, everything which makes our world around us a little bit better. And they do investments in any country of the European Union, including Israel, so far as I know. So if you have not the luck of being in the European Union, you move to Germany, and then you are in the position to receive a funding by the fund. So that's easy. So welcome again. Happy to have you with us here, and the stage is yours.
Okay, mic check. Thank you so much, Ulf, and of course, company Swiss Chrono for inviting us to present what we are doing. A lot of people here know me and know us, but a lot of you don't know us. So I'm here to present our story about how we are ready for a bio-revolution in Europe and globally. So my name is Mridul. I'm presenting here on behalf of our general partner, Dr. Michael Brandkamp. We are based in Bonn, but we are a global company with European team base, so we are also based in different parts of Europe. And why do we talk about bioeconomy? Bioeconomy is not just specific to bioeconomy, but we also talk about enabling of bioeconomy. But before we go ahead with that, let me talk about what is bioeconomy in simple words. So bioeconomy is any material that is bio-based or any enabling technology that can enable a more efficient way of making this material present to market. And bioeconomy also consists of forest economy. So if you are dealing with forest and wood, then this is also very relevant for you. So here are some of the key drivers why we think that bioeconomy is the new future after digital economy. So if you are working with wood or forest, you might see that there are changing consumer behavior. There's more and more digital companies coming up. There's new business models coming up. We looked at a company that was working with sensors for forest and making money at the same time. We are seeing world-class research coming from European universities, new patents. We are seeing more public support for these innovations. And we are looking at new regulatory frameworks. So we are looking at carbon credits. We are looking at bans on fossil fuels. At the same time, we are looking at public and private initiatives. So the European Green Deal is a good example. We are here to support that. And then EU taxonomy, where companies have to become more transparent in the activities that they're doing and have to qualify for the ESG benefits. On the right side, you also see a list of, or a graph of a map of countries where bioeconomy is recognized as a key lever in their national strategies. So it's not just us who are talking about bioeconomy, it's the entire European Union talking about this. And for this, we are here to support. We often hear about startups and public funding, but we are a private funding that is here to support the bioeconomy in Europe. So we are a 300 million euro fund. We are a venture capital company. We invest in startups. And we started because the European Investment Bank and the European Commission, they did a report, they did a study on where is the funding gap in bioeconomy. And they said that there is a funding gap for more mature companies. So the companies, when they become more mature, when they come at a TRL, so a technology readiness level of 6, there is a funding gap. And for this, they chose us to do funding in these companies. And we are investing not just in the European Union, 27 countries, but also the 16 associated Horizon countries. So that includes Israel, for example, Norway, Switzerland, Turkey as well. We are investing between 2 and 20 million euros in a company. These have to be deep tech companies with a proprietary technology. We are, an investment approach is to syndicate, so we look for co-investors. So if you're also investing in companies, then we look for you to come together with us and help support these companies. We are an ESG-focused company, so we only invest in companies that have a clear support to ESG goals. So if there is not a clear approach to ESG, we don't even look at them. We don't touch them. That's why we are called an Article 9 or a dark green fund, which means according to sustainable financial disclosure regulations, we are the most sustainable fund. So for companies who want to invest in a sustainable fund, they invest in us, and we have money from them. And we have a typical venture capital-like timelines. So maybe a bit more information on where we are investing in the bioeconomy. As you can see here, we are investing in food companies, ag-tech, blue economy, bio-based materials, packaging materials, construction materials, industrial biotech, so chemicals that are made from biotechnology, bio-based chemicals, textiles. And on top, you will see that science and digitalizations are the key enablers for these transformations. So we are also investing in the enabling technologies. Of course, we combine these with circular economy. So we look at companies that help in avoidance, reducing, valorizing waste, and recycling. What we don't do is pharma and bioenergy. There are a lot of companies out there who are investing in this, so we don't do that. These are our limited partners. This means that they have invested in us. Here you can see companies, first of all, the European Investment Bank, who is the cornerstone investor in us. Then you see corporates like Nestlé, Bufa, so really a German company, GC Ventures, so this is a company from Thailand. Kohler Group, I think this might be recognizable for you guys. Then we have companies like Neste from Finland. Bunge is a new investor from the US as well. Corbion. Then we have family offices, banks. So you can see here Renton Bank, for example, that have invested in us. You can see NRW Bank. So this is the regional bank from the state of North Rhine-Westphalia. So these have invested in us. They have a common goal to achieve sustainability. And that's why they have invested in us. Moving on to the next slide. Okay. So we bring a big network across Europe. So in case you are looking for a really good connection, we can open doors. We have a lot of connection around Europe. Our team is based all across Europe, and we have invested in companies all across Europe. So we are very active in participating in events, in supporting, and we are very open. We follow an open door policy, which means no matter if we get an email from an interesting or a not interesting company, we reply and we give a proper feedback. So this is a very common practice, at least in our office. So I would approach I would like you all to approach us if you have any questions for us. These are the companies that we have invested in. They are based in different countries, and you can see maybe we talk about the latest investment that we have done. So a company on the bottom right, TrapView from Slovenia. What they are doing is they have a biodiversity monitoring system, which they, right now, they have a product market fit for the agriculture side, but they can also do it for forest management, etc. So for the agriculture side, they put up these small boxes that are with sensors. They can track insects and biodiversity in the farm, and this can enable the farmer to reduce usage of pesticides, for example. And we have other companies as well in different areas. For example, insect farming, plant-based dairy made from lupine seeds, and vitamins that are made from microorganisms. So we are looking at a broad variety of companies, but we have not made an investment, especially in the wood technology yet, but we would like to make an investment in that sector as well. This is our team. As you can see, we are 25 people. We are really friendly people. So please don't hesitate to approach us. And I will leave you with the vision that we have seen from our company. So our vision is to have a prosperous economy that is realigned with the nature. And I leave on this note to thank you all. And please feel free to connect with us. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for this impressive view. What also impresses me is your limited partners in the background. And this is something which is a very, very strong trend, especially in Germany, but not in Germany only, that many corporates, mainly family-run corporates with a family office, step directly into the startup business or via fund. And I'm pretty sure if you are approached by a startup which is not immediately interesting for your fund, might be, but on the other way, interesting for one of your limited partners. So, because the limited partners do invest, having their fingers in the sector, and I guess this happens also that you are forwarding an inquiry to limited partners directly, because it just touches the interests of such a limited partners. And this is a strong trend in German industry. As you know, we have a strong family-run business background in Germany, and many of those are interested in investing in startups. So please don't be shy. This is my recommendation for all startups, to look for, not in particular, but especially for a German partner, and talk to a family entrepreneur. You won't be rejected. So just call the secretary saying, hey, I'm a nice startup, I want to talk to you because I think our product, our technology is a fit for you. It's a value added for you. So, and these people, before you are running around desperately looking for venture capital, which is a very hard deal, and still, because 90% of the deals in venture are done in IT, and then somehow biotech as a new material, etc., but investments in tangible goods is pretty rare in the venture capital business. So your fund is quite an exception in this way. So this are my recommendations. Just talk to Mittelstand entrepreneurs and call them. Please avoid mailing them info@ whatever, balsen.de, you never get a response, just call. This is a high-tech, it's called telephone, and just call and getting connected to the secretary. And this is all about the secret. This is my recommendation. Like I'm doing it also this way. Welcome on stage, Stefan, as presenting one of the newest products of Swiss Chrono is Magnum board, very, very hard, high-density board using for construction.
So, hello all together. My name is Stefan Gottfried, so I'm responsible for the technical support in Heiligengrabe for the OSB products. So as you know, we are a producer of OSB boards in Heiligengrabe in different qualities, especially also for different kind of house building systems. And I would like to introduce you the Magnum board house building system. So as you know, we have the different kind of house building systems, building with brick, building with gas concrete, and also the different kind of timber or wood building system. So most of all the timber frame system, where we also deliver the standard OSB boards or the wood block timber or cross-laminated timber. These are the different producing or house building systems you already have. But what we have is Swiss Chrono Magnum board. That is a kind of a solid house building system made with Swiss Chrono OSB. So the base is an OSB4 we are producing in Heiligengrabe, where we already have different certificates using wood from sustainable forests from Phoenix around the area here, from Heiligengrabe and Wittstock. We have the environmental product declaration, we have the Blue Angel because of the low emissions of the formaldehyde-free glued OSB. And here is some example of the short distances we already have. So we have the OSB4 getting the wood from the area. We make OSB of that in Heiligengrabe. And for example, we transport the boards to Ludwigsfelde, where one of our license partners is located, who is gluing the OSB boards together and makes the offcuts and so on. And then you transport this, for example, to Berlin, and the summary of all would be less than 300 kilometers of transport way. And so you see that we could be a regional product where we have very low transport distances compared to other house building systems where you have much more transport. So the base of the Magnum board system is European technical approval, where you can build with this system in the whole European Union and also Switzerland and so on, where you can already work with this system. The base is a OSB4, which is transported to license partners. They glue them together. For example, in Ludwigsfelde we have Tripetek. We have also some close to Fulda MMD in Germany, and we also have three additional license partners. One is located in France, close to the Switzerland border, and two license partners in Belgium, who also get our OSB boards to make the Magnum board. So what is Magnum board? That is, as I already told, an OSB4 with a very long-based format. We use boards up to 18 meters. The standard is 15 meter length and a width of 280 and a thickness of 25 millimeters. And we use this board to glue them together to a solid house building system. So here you see one of these 18 meter boards we take out here from Heiligengrabe to our license partners. And with this Magnum board system we can make floor elements, we can make wall elements, we can make roof elements. Some of our license partners also make prefabricated stair elements with that. And also, for example, elevator shafts you can make with that if you take them upright, the elements. And also you can get just the glued elements and not prefabricated, and you can prefabricate them on the construction site, or if you have some Hundegger or anything like this, that you can cut this in your own production line. The possibilities are very different. You can build normally one-story house building, one-family houses. You can build multi-story buildings. You can build office buildings. You can use this for building extensions if you make an additional floor on a still existing building, or you would like to add anything on an existing building. Because of the prefabrication, you are not limited to any size, or you can cut this in the size you need after that. We are not having any raster or anything like this, and we are very flexible because of that. One example is the very low thickness of the Magnum board system. Compared to standard solid house building systems, you can use thinner walls of this, because of that you get more floor in a house, up to 12%. For example, where we built some houses in Sylt, where you have very high costs in the area, and therefore with a family unit house, we had an additional value of the building of 100,000 euro because of the additional floor you had in that system. Magnumbot is certified in all ranges you need. We have made several fire tests. We made a lot of range of sound insulation tests. About that, Hans-Uli Schmidt from Lignum Timber already told about the timber planner, where you find the Magnumbot tested constructions. There you find all you need from fire resistance from 30 minutes to 100 minutes and all the different sound insulations you can normally build everything, and also getting the higher standards with the system. We are also able or included in some static software, for example. I think maybe somebody of you knows Dietrich's, where Magnumbot is already included to make the calculation with that system. And the handling is also very easy because of the prefabricated hanging elements. You can use and handle this very easy on the construction side. You have the advantage that you can screw, that you can drill the screws in the layer of the OSB. This is a certified connection, and so it's very easy to build a house at the construction site. So normally you need about 1 day to build a house, of one family house, with that system, which is running very fast. The assembly of that system, the prefabrication level is also very high. We have the possibility that we can prefabricate the holes in the wall, where we can take the wiring inside. We can also cut out the openings for plumbing or anything like this. That's also very easy in the prefabrication. And also the other way, compared to other systems, is the very good swelling and shrinking. So for example, CLT, as you know, is a good system, but you see the surfaces are not always the best because the swelling and shrinking the level is much higher of each board. So you see, for example, the radial swelling factor or shrinking factor of wood is 0.24, and we are using OSB4 with 0.015% per percent moisture change. And for example, if you have a moisture change from 12 to 18%, which is normally happening with normal wood, because you start with 18%, and if you are using this in a living room, it's getting drier to 12%. And by the way, you have 14 millimeters getting lower in the dimension because of the drying of the planks. And OSB4 in the same is only 0.9 millimeters. And the other advantage of our OSB, that it's normally drier when you get it in the construction, and then it's getting a little bit more moisture because you have some more swelling, but not a big drying or settling or anything like this you have with other wood building system. The other advantage of that is also that we have a large size, we have a sanded surface, we do not have any gaps in the layer of the OSB, in the surface of the board, under the element, and therefore we are able to make direct coatings directly on the OSB surface. So you do not need any gypsum cladding or anything like this. We have the recommendation of these well-known producers that you can do the coatings and the finishing directly on the OSB surface, which is a very good advantage, which makes the construction easier and cheaper in the internal use of the wall elements. So here's some examples where we already built with Magnumbot. For example, that's a restaurant building. The other one here, that's a kindergarten, where they completely used Magnumbot for the roof, for the wall, for the floor, which is very good in use. For example, here a 5-story building where the system is already used, and here some office and sales buildings, that's all possible with Magnum board and already built in the system. So that was just the first, thank you. I would like to say, if you are interested in the system, in the workshop room, you find some brochures, and if you go from you on the left side upstairs, we have also some samples. You can look how this system works and how we can fit it together. And otherwise, in the coffee breaks, I'm here for answering some questions. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, interesting product. So hopefully one can construct houses with costs be under 1,500 € square meter with your system, hopefully. Yeah, the next presenter is coming from Israel. This is Dan Lay with the fire protection and fighting technology. Welcome, Dan.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for this opportunity to Mr. Ulf and Leonard and Swiss Chrono. I hope you hear me. And so let's get on. So what are we dealing with? I'm approaching the problem with runaway wildfires by default, and this is the problem, the worldwide problem of wildfires, and that's as well the economical impact. Wildfires are growing year by year because of the climate crisis, and the death toll is rising. The resources are getting larger and larger, and the debt due to that is getting larger. It's in the billions of dollars. The solution that we are bringing to the market is backed by the basic problem, the basic concept of the way that the fire is progressing. And when we look at the forest after a fire, you see there's no leaves and small twigs. So if we don't have leaves from the beginning, we won't have a treetop fire. And we suggest our approach is using a laser, an artificial intelligent control laser that will cut off the leaves to a certain degree from the trees. This will stop the advancing fire in the treetops and bring it down to the ground. When we have these extreme winds, the water does not reach where it needs to reach. And with the laser, we can work in any weather, basically, especially where the water cannot work. Now, aeroplanes do not take off with winds above 35 miles per hour because it's too dangerous for the crews, and it's as well the water does not reach the target that's needed. Mr. Van Wagner defined this concept, this theory, and the method, and that reducing the foliage to beneath the threshold of a certain, depending on the situation of the forest and the wind and the temperatures. So if we bring it below this threshold, we won't have a sustained treetop fire, and this will enable stopping the fire. So we're cutting off the green leaves. They have most of the energy, most of the fuel for fighting, for igniting and continuing the fire. And the fine fuel is what brings and advances the fire in the fire front. So our system will enable to rescue trapped firefighters and residents in a wildfire, and additionally to stop spotting fires of what jumps across the fire lines. The wildfire market is quite large. Only in the US it's 2.5 billion. The global file, as you see here. And the economic loss is tremendous, 62 and the minimum $1 billion of economic loss. The business model or complete sale, licensing, or building value. And potential buyers would be the defense contractors that are working today in the market, are selling in the market, and basically have control of the market, utility companies or private equity firms. And that's it, basically. Any questions? Thank you very much for all the support from Ulf and
thanks, Dan.
And Swiss Chrono. Thank you very much.
Thanks, all best. Yeah, our next presenter is Open Forest. Are they online? This is Radoslav Drago. Okay, go ahead.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah, everything fine. Go ahead, Radoslav.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Radoslav Drago, business developer for the Open Forest Protocol, which is a Swiss company or a platform for a global regenerative economy. Let me just, okay, for some reason I cannot move my slides. Okay, so the main problem that we're solving is a lack of reliable and accessible MRV, or measurement, reporting, and verification, specifically in the voluntary carbon market. What that means is, if we're looking at reforestation, afforestation projects, right now only the largest of large projects can qualify. And one of the main problems for that is that it is very expensive. So you have to spend tens of thousands of dollars in order to acquire MRV. And even if you have the project of sufficient size and if you have the cash, then it's a very slow, very bureaucratic process and takes a couple of years, usually 2 to 5 years, to see any value from your investment, which is a shame, because there's a great opportunity here. There are 1.5 billion hectares ready for restoration. And given that massive opportunity, we see that there are less than 1,000 total accredited reforestation projects. And even a subset of that, less than 350 of these reforestation projects are accredited by Vera or Gold Standard, which are considered the highest quality standards in the industry. So that leaves behind 99% of restoration projects that cannot access MRV, and thus cannot unlock value from the land. And that's why we created OFP, in order to streamline the entire process and essentially leverage new technology to make the process just as secure, but much more accessible. And here I'm just going to present a very quick macro view of how our system works. First, let's say you have a project, reforestation, afforestation, as I mentioned, could be anywhere in the world, and it could be of any size. You can register on our platform and you start submitting data. And that data is size of trees in specifically designated areas. So height, circumference of tree, and also photos with very precise geolocation. And that data is submitted by the project owners themselves. Perhaps we can go back to this slide as well. So they submit that data, and then it's up to the validators, and we have a decentralized network of validators to verify the veracity of that information, because it is self-reported data. And what they do is they analyze the data, and we don't use one validator that checks, that essentially audits the information. We use multiple validators, and these validators come in different types. Some of them are remote sensing companies, which means that they have access to satellite data or drone data or LiDAR data. And others are just experts in how trees grow and develop in different parts of the world. So it's about combining the knowledge of all these validators, and they either approve a project, in which case they get carbon credits, or they reject, in which case they can be kicked out of the platform. So we essentially leverage the expertise of a lot of third parties in order to make a system that's very secure. So anyone that purchases the carbon credits can really trust in the security of those carbon credits. Now, here I want to very quickly contrast the legacy system approach to our open forest approach. And some of these things I already mentioned, one of them being the cost. With us, is completely free, while usually you need tens of thousands of dollars to get started in the legacy approach. We use multiple validators per project, not just one entity. With us, there's no minimum project size, while usually if you want to get started in the legacy approach, you need over 1,000 hectares. And what is very important here is that the data is submitted once a year. So if you get approved by the validators, then you get a steady stream of income from those carbon credits that are generated every year. And you don't have to wait 2 to 5 years in order to see some value from the land. And the last point here I will make is that it is very, that our approach in general is very open. And that's why we're the Open Forest Protocol, as in the data that's submitted by the projects to be validated by the validators is largely made available to the public. So anyone that buys carbon credits can see the data that's submitted by the project owners themselves. So even if they want to, they can do their due diligence. So we have a very open and transparent approach, which again contrasts to the other legacy approach in which you have to trust a third party. And here, last but not least, I just want to quickly mention our traction so far. So we are a Swiss company. We started in the year 2020, but we launched our platform after 2 years in development in July of last year. And even in those few months, we were able to onboard more than 60 projects from around the world. We have more than 20 validators, and that was largely made possible by closing our pre-seed round. We raised 4.1 million US dollars, and we're now moving on to the seed round. And we've managed to forge some partnerships in the private sector, companies such as Toucan and Flow Carbon, but also we work with some governments as well, specifically the government of the Kenya and Ivory Coast, and we're doing pilot projects with them and expanding with our work with other governments. So thank you very much for listening. If you have any questions, if you're interested in the project, or you want to support us either financially, or you want to be a validator, or you want to register a project, do shoot me an email, rado@openforestprotocol.org, or just search me on LinkedIn. So thank you very much for listening.
Okay, thanks, Radoslav. So our next presenter, if they are here, Simon Vogt of NADA.
Perfect. Hello everybody, I'm Simon, co-founder of NADA, and our focus is to bring quality and transparency to the voluntary carbon markets, more specifically to the forest-based projects in the voluntary carbon market. And let's have a quick look at this market. It's booming, I think everybody knows. Every company and their grandmother want to be net zero by 2030 or 2035. And to do that, they either have to completely stop their operations or cut emissions, but most of them are probably planning on offsetting, so outbalancing the emissions they produce with negative emissions, so to speak. And yeah, market is huge. It's developing rapidly, but it has a huge problem. Trust is at an all-time low. There's many scandals over the years, many journalists with big accusations accusing all the industry giants like Vera and Gold Standard of not doing their due diligence correctly, and thus creating maybe even more damage than good, more harm than good. And so all the actors in the market, especially everybody who wants to sell carbon credits, they have two big needs. They need, firstly, reliable measurement, reporting, and verification, just what Rado mentioned earlier, the MRV. It's a big piece of the whole puzzle. to know what projects they're putting on the market, to know what quality they are, what prices they can fetch. And then, of course, they also need to communicate this quality to their customers to justify all this money that is flowing into these projects. Because if the project is for nothing, nobody wants to pay for it, obviously. And we're doing this, tackling both of these problems with our monitoring tool. Based on satellite data, we're offering a remote sensing tool with a nice visualization that gives an overview over a certain project area in regards to deforestation activities, to the biomass or the carbon that is bound in this area, in the forest, and also biodiversity and a deforestation risk assessment. And this data is based on satellite imagery, but also satellite data that is from radar sensors or LiDAR data, and we combine it with the different kinds of spatial data, different layers, and then use machine learning to get to the end product, to get to our tool, our analysis, our results. And so we offer our customers quite a lot of advantages in comparison to their competition. Increased customer trust, because every customer can interactively see what the project is doing, what are the project's results, and in almost real time. The analysis can be as recent as today or up to 4 days maximum. And so with this comes increased willingness to pay, increased revenues, and yeah, the insights are there all the time, so you can act on it if your project is showing any development in a negative direction before a journalist has to point this out and comes with a lot of bad marketing for you or your customers. And in the end, you will save a lot of time and costs compared to doing this analysis on your own or getting your own GIS team or remote sensing team. So it's just an efficient all-in-one platform. We're focusing on the carbon credit market, but that's not where we're going to remain. I think our product has lots of application in different industries. In the end, also for classical forestry, we're developing the algorithms behind our product, and soon we'll be able to also monitor forest health, drought, so fire risk also coming from this. And yeah, national parks, NGOs who want to communicate their work, who want to show that actually something is happening with all the money they collect, they can use our tool to visualize this, visualize progress, show progress over years and decades, going back in time up until recently, a few days ago. We're a diverse team with a lot of competence in remote sensing and IT development. So if you think we can develop something specifically for your industry, if you're a potential customer, come talk to us, connect with us. If you think our venture is worth investing in, contact us, and thanks a lot for your attention.
Okay, thanks. On point. So, our next presenter is Marv. Is he online? No. Does not work. Okay, we are going on to the next presenter, yeah? Hanne Stur.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for the invitation. We are Planterial, we are from Kiel, and we develop sustainable building materials from fast-growing resources. We are doing that to try to reduce the pressure on forests so that forests can stay forests. And we're doing that because the construction industry is still the largest contributor to CO2 emissions, the single largest user of energy, and of environmental pollution. And especially we focus on particle boards or chipboards. They're all made from tree wood, so from trees that would stay in the forest normally. They're harmful to health if you handle them, because there's formaldehyde contained in them. The binder is made from petroleum, so from not renewable resources, and also they're not compostable. And for that, we have a solution.
Yeah, and the solution we found, that is the planterial board material made out of 100% renewable sources. It contains no wood. We use annual plants which grow in the time scale of 1 year. We combined them with an organic binder, so our board materials are compostable and biodegradable, and also completely renewable, which makes them also CO2 negative because of the fast-growing plants and the storage of the CO2 inside them. We don't use formaldehyde at all because we don't need it in that combination, and our boards are even 30% lighter than the conventional particle boards, while we reach the achievements of the P2 standards for furniture boards. And because of that, we found a way for our recipe to patent our solution, and that's what we're doing now. And Claudius is telling us something about for who they are interesting.
Yeah, our potential customers are all interested in sustainability. We put them into two groups right here. One group is customers from store fitting, from sustainable furniture industry, but also trade fairs, because the buildings sometimes only get used for one fair and they get thrown away. And with ours, they can be recycled very easily. And also a lot for customer groups who are interested in circular economy and recyclability, also healthy living materials, health-sensitive environments like hospitals, like schools, like kindergartens, because, as we said, there's no formaldehyde contained in them.
And yeah, what makes us unique is the combination of these characteristics. It's the lightweight on the one hand and the organic binder on the other hand, and also the possibility for us to customize the board materials. So you can come to us with a question about a material you want to use inside the boards. For example, when there is a beer manufacturing and they want to build a board made out of hop for a room where you can, like for a showroom, for example, to get an emotional contact to the customers. Or when there is a fish restaurant and they want to build their rooms, they can use seagrass, for example, or we can use that for our boards then. Yeah, who's we? This is the team in the moment. Mika, the industrial designer here, he's unfortunately not with us today, but Claudius is with us. He's doing the finances, and I'm the chemist in the team. I'm doing the research and development part.
With CO2 emissions on the rise and forest grounds on the decline, we need a radical counter plan. And for that, we're looking for investors. We are trying to raise 1.9 million euro to finance our pilot plant in the next year and have it up and running in 1.5 or something like that. So if you're interested or have questions, we're here all day. Thanks for the invitation, and have fun with the next speaker.
Yes, thanks. We are trying our luck with Mark again. I would like to inform, I just received the information that we have some 320 people in the stream. Yeah, get to Ilse, please. Okay.
do you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, we can see you.
Very good.
We see your slides, and then you get your slideshow started right from the beginning.
Can I start my presentation?
Yes, you can.
Okay, thank you very much. So it's really a great pleasure for me to take part in this event. And so I lost my presentation. Oh, okay. Now it is. Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, my name is Ilse Barga, and I would like to introduce our company, Baltic Satellite Service. And we have developed forest radar technology, which basically provides different data services to forest owners derived from satellite imagery. So yeah, as many presenters already are mentioning, that the forest definitely needs constant monitoring, and there are many different problems caused by different nature events. And we were looking at these problems already like 5 years ago, and talked to many forest owners. And then we also, from the other side, see that there are terabytes of different kinds of satellite data, commercial satellite data, free satellite data, drone data, etc. And okay, the main question was how to benefit from these terabytes of data. And of course, the answer now is machine learning. And what we did was, of course, get the ML expert on board, and who made nice and well-performing different models, so we can detect clear cuts or windfalls or floods and etc. But then we were getting this idea, so we were getting data, we are having the model, we were thinking, oh, now we are ready to provide commercial services. But the next step, again, like 2 years ago, we stopped a little bit because we realized that without completely automatic processes in terms of image acquisition, processing, running ML models, testing results, validating, also stitching image mosaics together in order to cover the whole countries, regions, many countries, for instance, and deliver results to the customers. It's not possible without some real complete data processing platform, which provides all these options. And at the end, so for 2-3 years, we were building this platform, which is now very well performing for us, and now we are capable of providing different kinds of data through this platform. We are really proud that we can communicate and cooperate with researchers, with scientists, and provide this platform for them to run algorithms and deliver very fast results to the end users, because the system does this mosaicing and processing, and also web publishing or service delivery very automatically. Ourselves, we also deliver commercial services to forest owners and really help to save forest in many cases. So we deliver this the most actual cloud-free base map, which is updated every single day and covers all European countries right now, and delivers also metadata. Another option is that forest owners are uploading their shapefiles with forest properties, and the system does monitoring. We can do weekly, monthly, quarterly monitoring, and as soon as the problem is detected with forest property, so it's immediately the forest owner receives email about warning. And one more example of process our platform operation is that for for instance, for insurance companies, for banks, for auditors, we can provide analysis where we show status of, for instance, new grown forest, mature forest, clear cut, or other land use. And we can process such kind of reports, like, for instance, for 20,000 hectare area in 1 week. So it's really powerful. And also the flood detection, near real time data is coming into our systems, and we are providing also this information to forest owners. And very interesting project where we are realizing together with research institutes is this algorithm development or development of the system which detects different forest risks. And we use satellite imagery and also drone data. And this is, for instance, example of the problematic places. Picture is taken right now in Latvia, and we are validating right now this algorithm where we will be able to detect forest which is standing under the water. So basically, we are very happy that really these systems now are working, and we are contributing to the saving the forest. And if you are interested into our products and services and maybe cooperation to develop new great ideas, so we are very open to cooperate, and please contact us.
Okay.
So thank you very much.
Thanks, Ilse. Our next presenter is Leon.
Yeah, hello from my side as well. I'm Leon from Live.io, and I'm not the first to tell you today, but climate change is debilitating our forests. Specifically, temperature peaks and droughts are weakening the ecosystem and the trees, making them more vulnerable and susceptible to forest pests and diseases and severe weathers. At the same time, traditional inspection methods such as driving or walking through the forest, but also drones and overflights are unscalable and therefore lead to late detections of forest pests and diseases. And this leads to 203 million hectares of degraded forests by those threats annually, plus an additional 11 million hectares of deforested land by humans annually. And this is, of course, bad for timber and forest value if you are a private forest owner, but it's also bad because this leads to a loss of biodiversity and carbon storage and all the other forest ecosystem services. So what do we do about it? Live.io is the leading AI satellite analytics provider, and we continuously monitor your forests and use machine learning to identify the threats early on, empowering or enabling the forest owners to detect and mitigate the threats before they spread and wreak havoc. So one solution that we have is the forest health monitoring. We get daily data, daily vitality of every single tree on Earth, and then we run more analyses like tree species, surface temperature, to find infested trees early on, enabling the forest owner to mitigate and take down the tree before the disease or the pest spreads. So we send you, if our analyses detect a sick tree or an infested tree, we send you an alert. This can be via SMS, email, or in our web app, as you see it here. And we tell you we detected an unusually high vitality drop there. It could be a pine, for instance, so a bug infestation is possible, so you should go there and cut it down before the infestation spreads. And this enables forest owners to reduce tree loss, to focus existing teams on the areas where it's most beneficial, and to also reduce manual efforts. And then for the government sector or NGO sector, we have a similar forest monitoring solution for deforestation. We are proud to work with the United Nations to monitor countrywide, a European country, to monitor deforestation. And in this case as well, we run machine learning algorithms on top of satellite data to automatically detect, identify deforestation, and as soon as we detect it, we send the customer an alert via different channels, SMS, email, or web app, and give them an actionable insight. Hey, we detected a cutback, this is when it happened, and this is the damaged area size. We can also give a cause indication, enabling the forest owner or the government to take countermeasures and protect the forests. And this is a fully automated and scalable solution that works globally. And this is more or less what it works like. So it is an out-of-the-box high-tech solution. So we acquire satellite data. This can be radar or optical, different wavelengths on a daily basis of every single tree on Earth. Then we classify it, run several machine learning algorithms on top, but basically none of this matters for you as a customer. The only thing that matters are the actionable insights that we give out. That is the thing that you see that enables you to really protect your forests and improve operations. And this is not just an idea, but as I mentioned, we already work with the UN to monitor deforestation in Europe, and we have 50 plus enterprise customers on all 6 continents, and we're looking forward to work with you to protect your forests, and I'm happy to chat with you. Thanks.
So our next presenter comes from the inspiration part. So we are pretty well in time, so I'm going to move forward those presenters from our large startup cluster right after the inspiration, right? So we don't have after the coffee break, we will only have remote presentations, and then we can finish a bit earlier even. Yeah, for discussion or whatever you want to do. Yeah. So Anja.
Ready?
So yeah, we are ready. We see your slides. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Hello everyone und guten Tag. Ich bin hier in der Schweiz. I'm speaking to you from Switzerland. I'm wearing 2 hats today. One is the World Intellectual Property Organization's head, where I'm working in the climate change and food security unit, dealing with WIPO Green, and then also for Zebra Ventures, but I'll come to that. So we've heard about the broader environment in terms of why it is really urgent and important to do something to transform our industry to do more sustainable systems. One thing that I want to highlight here with this slide is just also to point to the opportunities that this represents for startups and SMEs and other companies that are active in this space. And also you see on the bottom right-hand side, sustainable agriculture and forestry, which is expected to, or where the market is expected to grow considerably also over the next years. From WIPO, we are a UN specialized agency dealing with innovation and intellectual property. And we have created WIPO Green some 10 years ago as a marketplace to accelerate adaptation, adoption, deployment of green technology solutions. And so the idea is really that innovation and intellectual property, they're not ends in themselves, but they serve to tackle broader climate change and environmental challenges. And this has 3 parts to it. One is a database where you can find technology offers and also what we call needs. So entities or organizations that are looking to adopt green technology or to deploy the green technology. We have a network of 150 partners that share the same mission with us, consisting of IGOs, NGOs, companies, company associations. And then we have a range of projects that actually help us put the technology into practice, as we say. And parts of that are our acceleration projects that you see in pictures on the right-hand side. So one, for instance, dealing with environmental technologies for Chinese cities. There's another one on palm oil mill effluence reductions in Indonesia, and one on climate smart agriculture in Latin America. On the database part, which has over 100,000 entries covering all areas of green tech, you also find a range of forest-related technologies ranging from, let's say, technology readiness level 4 to fully sort of commercialized and scale technologies. And I don't want to read them all out to you, just to give you a flavor of what is available, like, for instance, fire identification from Albania, technology, satellite observation technology. There's insect traps from Slovakia, or, for instance, use of acoustics to disrupt and deter food-infesting insects, and so on. You also have the need side that I mentioned earlier, where organizations are looking for concrete technologies that they are wanting to deploy. Here's an example from Argentina. So with that, just want to invite you all to search available technology. There's also patent information available to upload your technologies. So all startups and other companies or universities are invited to integrate with the large network and use that platform to make their technologies visible. Once you have uploaded, you can also make use of the functionality to connect with others, but also see similar technologies and similar patents that have been registered in the same area. So there's a AI-based functionality that helps you sort of see similar technologies, but also corresponding needs if you have technologies, or corresponding technologies if you have needs, and that facilitates the connection. And you can get in contact with all the other users of the system. So the second hat, Anja. Changing now hats, is Zebra Ventures. I'm currently seconded for a few months to look at another entity in the innovation system, which is a VC, Swiss-based VC capital firm, which is trying to tackle or make a contribution to the food system, which needs to become more sustainable. So what we're interested in is to find companies that have technology in the agriculture and food tech sectors, and that would have the potential to help with the transformation of the sector. We look at companies that are A+ and beyond to growth, so early stage to growth technologies. And focus in particular on the areas of precision farming, alternative nutrition, as well as waste and circularity. So that's already my short pitch. Thank you again for having me, and looking forward to interacting. Please reach out to me if you're interested in one of those. Thank you so much.
Okay, Anja. Is he still online?
I need to then keep it in this kind of format instead of the full screen. So
okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Let's leave on with this. Yeah. Okay. Then a new startup. All right. So about the landscape of bioeconomy, and then I carry on. Okay, what do we do within this all? So my name is Jukka Kattola, and I'm a founder of the World Bioeconomy Forum. So pleased to be here, even virtual. So now, when it comes to bioeconomy, so first of all, what is that? In correspondence to global economy, with this accounting today $100 trillion 100 trillion US dollar. And now there are expectations that the value of the bioeconomy will increase up to level that it will be accounting 1/3 of the all economical activities. And this is not said by us. This is the basis, for example, in US for the very recent bio strategy, which was launched in September 12th last year. You can find it at, for example, from the Smith Futures. So that is the one point I'd like to make. The another thing is that, when it comes to bioeconomy, third industrial revolution was a digital revolution. And that is helping us, like, I can participate, online, so the internet is the main vehicle on it. And every guy can benefit, no matter your democracy, what you are engaged. So it is everywhere, the internet. There is now expectation that the fourth industrial revolution is about the biotechnology and bioeconomy. So there are notions that biorevolution is looming. By the way, this is our next roundtable in 15th of February. You are all welcome to that. We are talking about that. The biorevolution is knocking on the door. And it's not only us. If you have a look like companies like Bayer, or if you have a look like World Economic Forum, if you have a look about what's in the China agenda, the biotechnology is everywhere. So it is next, let's say, industrial revolution. On the other hand, when we have a look, this bioeconomy is everywhere, but at the same time it is nowhere. What I mean by that, it's not that well known by the big audience. Sometimes it is deemed too complex, and it is, in some extent, it is complex. But the comprehension is not that well received. I can tell you a story, for example, when there was last October in Brussels, there was a 10th year anniversary of the EU biostrategy. There was 600 people in that space and following that program, and 1,000 online. And moderator was Monica Jones asked the first question for the audience, who's supposed to be somehow, let's say, bioeconomy experts. He was asking that how many bioproducts did you use before getting in that occasion, 8:30 in the morning. Most of the people said less than 5, where the options were 0 to 5, 5 to 15, or over to 15. And this is very describing. Certainly, right answer should have been over 15. So, what did you eat? What did you wear? How did you transport? Or what was your electricity? So, bioeconomy is everywhere, but at the same time is nowhere. And I think that it is for all us, also in this society, that we have a work to do to get that more comprehended. What does it then mean? On the other hand, products what will be provided. The climate change mitigation.
You hear me, Jukka?
And it is.
Jukka.
Sorry?
Jukka, you hear me?
I can
You're
hear
still
you.
seeing the second slide and nothing moves forward.
Second slide, yes.
Yes.
This is now the.
Did you move forward with your presentation?
I will do that. Yeah. Wait. Hold on. So, so this is this landscape that what do we have now on this bioeconomy? So it is everywhere, and how do we operate in this? The world bioeconomy. So our story goes like that. We've been established in 2018, and what do we do in this? In the nutshell, we are then facilitating the bioeconomy. And how do we do that? We do that by organizing the public bioeconomy events, roundtables, and annual conferences. That's one part. The second part, we are running membership programs where we are having this bioeconomy organization to get engaged in a deep dive on this bioeconomy. And then finally, we are then providing some services related to bioeconomy. During these 3 years, we've been engaged in quite wide audience of the bio stakeholders. So almost 90, let's say, countries out of the United Nations are already.
Jukka, the connection is really bad. The connection is really bad. I suggest you get out now, we take you in again, yeah?
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So this is okay. The bioeconomy can be a bit complex. So okay, how do we do that? We are explaining that through this 4-pillar structure. What do we mean by that? Is that okay? Once whatever company and about the conducting the strategy. Typically, what you do in the first place is that hey, let's have a look at the SWOT analysis to have an understanding of that business environment. We do have this same for the bioeconomy. So instead,
yeah, nothing to add. I want to go ahead with the presenters which are presenting physically here. This is first. This is Mikko. Mikko, where are you? Then followed by Stephanie, Paul, and Volker, and then we going in the coffee break, and then we have the other remote pitches, maybe including Jukka. I'm not really sure yet, but as you are finished as well, Mikko, I know that you are doing a better job. This is yours. So this we're going to the pitch of Mikko. This is iced tea. Can we switch to Mikko?
Are you guys still awake?
Yes.
Okay, maybe a few stretches. Ulf gave me 45 minutes for this speech, so.
Yes, I really appreciate finishing speaking. Okay, that's you.
Okay, great, thanks. So, yeah, I'm Mikko from ICE. I'm the CEO and founder of that company, and while working in the construction industry for more than, well, 2 decades now, I've noticed that there hasn't been any significant changes, at least in the acoustic tile business where I've been working, and we're thinking about the solutions. Of course, there are some solutions that are sustainable in the industry, but they didn't, or they haven't gotten very big in the market, and that's due to pricing. I'm sure Henrik at least can back me up when I say that if you have a product that is 10% more expensive than the competition, you don't have a market. You have a problem, yeah, that's true. So that's why IST was founded. We want to bring to the market more sustainable products that are also affordable. Our first product line is ceiling acoustic tile that you can see here in the picture. We also use AI because this is AI-generated picture. I wanted to put that there because AI is such a buzzword. So ceiling acoustic tiles, mainly in commercial buildings, schools, kindergartens, office buildings, hospitals, you name it. Usually, the products that are used are mineral wools, like glass wool and rock wool, but our product is made from cellulose fibers. It's carbon negative, it's easy to recycle, it's plastic free, we don't have any kind of binder in the material, but also it has the same technical properties and same price as glass wool and rock wool. We use a method called foam forming, and with that we can manufacture large quantities without any plastic binders and with affordable pricing. We have applied for a patent for the product, and we are actually expecting positive feedback during this month. And acoustic tile is the first product that we have chosen due to my background in acoustics, but of course we can manufacture any kind of board-like materials like insulation, packaging, etc. We have various background. Mine is from the construction and acoustics. Then we have the process expert from VTT. Here on the left, Petri. He knows everything about the foam forming, and our COO, Antti, knows everything about wood fibers. We raised 1.6 million last year, and now we are employing 7 people in Finland, and we have built a pilot plant there to be able to demonstrate the tiles. The total market size for acoustic tiles is 10 billion euros and is growing. And what is the good thing? There are only 4 big players in the field: Saint-Gobain, Rockwool, Knauf, and Armstrong. So it's a highly consolidated market, and we want to be the 5th big player in the market. With the first factory that we are now financing and designing, we will have a capacity of 2.5 million square meters. That is, in euros, that is around 40 million of revenue. And with the second factory combined, it's up to 170 million of revenue. And this is an extremely profitable business. We have over 60% of sales margin. We have good feedback from the customers, all sides of the construction project. So the installation companies, big construction companies, big real estate companies, and of course the architects. And one of them even said that when we enter the market, the mineral wool manufacturers will go out of business, as it doesn't make sense to use them anymore. On the left, you can see the total investment plan and the allocation of the funds. So we need 23 million for the factory financing, of which we have already secured 19 million. So if you should have 4 million, we need only 4 million lead investment at this stage. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Mikko. This was far more relaxing than the last trial to pitch to us. And this was a Finnish guy as well, by the way. But I guess this was healthier for you to cut him off. So sometimes this happens. So, Stephanie. Stephanie is representing Natury Capital AG.
Yes, hi everyone. I don't have slides. I will have a film later on. Are you ready with the film later? You have it? Okay, great. Okay, so where do I start? I start in 1992. That was when I had to write my Abitur thesis, and I wrote it on the Earth Summit. That was COP1, if you wish. So that was clear at that time that we were really running out of time with respect to climate and biodiversity. Back then, that was already obvious. And then I thought, what can I do? How can I contribute to a better world? And I decided to go into the media industry to educate people. 20 years later, I must say I found out that that was not enough, obviously. We didn't make it. We, as the media industry, we were not able to educate people in a way that they would understand what is really important. They look at stuff which is, you know, completely unimportant or irrelevant or not even good for them, and we don't see what is right in front of us. And you know, I used to run good houses. I used to run Die Zeit, and not far from here I was the CEO of Ostsee Zeitung, so I know that neighborhood more or less. But still, in the end, I was running an international company, Bauer Media, and I was responsible also for Australia. And that's where it hit me. That was in early 2020 when my team, my beloved team called and they said, we cannot make it into the conferences this week because the continent is burning. And that was the worst bushfire in the history of this earth. And that's when I gave up my career and I started over and I learned everything I needed to know about this planet, about planetary boundaries. I started a podcast which is called Planetary Business, and I learned a lot about corporate sustainability. How do you run a business without killing the planet? Turns out they know how to do it in a way that they can be less bad. They don't know how to be good. So I needed a business model that is not just less bad, but nature positive. And also, I said to myself, it's not about education. Education is not enough. Education doesn't work. That is obviously not a language that people understand if we tell them, this is, this is the end of the world. If you continue that like this, it didn't work out. So the only language people understand is, what is that? Thank you. Thank you. You're listening. Oh, that's nice. Yes, it's money. So let's come up with a system that shows that it is now more profitable to protect or to restore nature than to destroy it. And how do you do that? So I found a company that knows how to do it. It's an asset manager out of Switzerland. A core shareholder is South Pole, the biggest climate project developer in the world. And we've set up a small team of fund managers. This is an asset manager. And we take money from private people, institutions, family offices, and we buy land. You know, what we've seen so far, we've seen wonderful digital platforms and technology and everything, but that is, you know, we don't need that anymore if we don't have land. And we are using land in a way which is just dramatic. And so we take money and we buy degraded land. Where do we do that? We buy that land in Colombia. Why are we starting in Colombia? Because this is where you have the fastest tree growth and you have the highest intensity of biodiversity in the world. So with 1 million euros, you can have the biggest impact in that country. And so we take the money, we buy land, and we don't plant trees. We don't do anything. We just leave it alone. We leave the land alone. Everything we do is just that we do not keep nature from doing what nature knows best and has been doing for 4 billion years. So we buy the land, we leave it alone, and after 4 and 5 years, we start selling the carbon credits. This is about carbon sequestration. I hope we will have biodiversity credits real soon. And so we have a return on investment for the investors, which is double-digit, because it is Colombia, because it is so intense there. And this is a business model that is truly nature positive. Let's have a look at the movie, please. And you see me there on the horse. It's my first time on a horse, so please apologize if I don't look that, you know, I don't look like Winnetou.
Nature Re has acquired its first pieces of degraded land in the region of Antioquia, Colombia. Due to previous use for cattle ranching, the natural ecosystem has been severely affected. Trees were chopped down regularly, and the soil was treated with chemicals to create pasture. For every single cow, more than a hectare of nature was sacrificed. This way of using land was both highly inefficient and destructive for the environment. Now, through the world-leading expertise of our operating partner, South Pole, we will assist natural regrowth processes. Over time, birds and rodents will spread seeds that will enable biodiversity to flourish again. Pastures will be able to regrow bushes, and bushes will create a new habitat for forests to thrive and capture massive amounts of CO2. The natural regeneration will enable local species like hummingbirds, capuchin monkeys, parrots, and jaguars to inhabit the area once again. From the start, local communities will be involved in the project. Besides creating sustainable jobs in the region, Nature Re will focus on investments in education. Follow us on our journey to restore nature, capture carbon emissions, and support local communities. Nature Re. Invest in nature. Remove carbon at scale.
Okay, so we're always looking for investors, and we're having a Series A if you're interested. Anybody out there, maybe online. And let me just say that when I was there, you see that the land is not 100% degraded, but just so to speak, 70%. So the rest is still intact, and from that rest, nature can come back. And I saw that, and I saw jaguar and all those beautiful animals, and you have to imagine that for every cow, 1 hectare of land is being destroyed, which is really, it's billions of animals, the tiny ones and the big ones. So eating meat is so bad, I cannot even describe it. It really hit me a lot. So contact me on LinkedIn or listen to Planetary Business to find out more. Ciao.
Yes, thanks, Stephanie. I'm always happy to welcome somebody without PowerPoint slides. I have to admit this. Yeah, next presenter will be Paul. And then the following one to prepare is Volker Weiss. And then we have the coffee break. And then we try to repeat Mr. Priebe, Mark, and the other guys scheduled for being online with us. So we are in time anyhow.
Okay. I see. Great. Thank you. So hi, thank you very much for the invitation to be here. My name's Paul Cheney. I'm co-founder of a company called Complex Earth. We're a software startup, actually incorporated in the UK, but I live in Prague in Czech Republic. Our mission is to close the knowledge gap in ecological regeneration so that we can scale impact across different markets, sectors globally. So what do we mean by ecological regeneration? I think we all know what that means here. The thing is that ecological regeneration is not business as usual. It's about making systemic and long-lasting changes to the way we produce and consume to stabilize and reverse the damage that has been caused by industrialization. But this is very difficult to achieve, right? Because the methods of regeneration are more complex than we're used to with industrialization and the last 200 years of methodologies. There isn't enough knowledge for the transition, and also the transition is very high risk. So an example of that would be the conversion to regenerative agriculture. For farmers, there's like a 3 or 4 year lead time before crop yields come back up again. In that time, they take all of the financial risk, and profit margins are very low anyway. So we need new technologies to envision change, design change, and to mitigate the risks that come with the change. So our breakthrough technology resolves these bottlenecks and supports ecological regeneration in agriculture, forestry, and the built environment. We're building a powerful set of tools that can help everyone delivering on net zero and biodiversity targets. So what exactly is so breakthrough about our technology, and who is it for? So for upstream stakeholders, delivering ecological regeneration, it offers completely new kinds of decision support. Our tech models ecosystems in 3 dimensions and tells stakeholders exactly what to plant, where to plant, and where, to create successful ecological regeneration projects in any context. Our system provides project plans, management advice, procurement schedules, and budgets, everything that is needed to deliver projects on the ground. And it does this for anywhere in the world, down to 10 square centimeters resolution. So for downstream stakeholders delivering ecological regeneration, our tech creates new kinds of ecological digital twin. So a digital twin allows us to simulate changes before they are implemented. We can predict and test hypotheses, means we can monitor more effectively and generate new kinds of valuable data for new kinds of validation. From this, we can build a range of dashboards and tools with different stakeholders to monitor and manage at local, regional, national levels. And the outputs can be integrated with existing management pipelines and softwares already being used across different industries. So, what does this actually look like in reality? So, we're a startup, we're pre-revenue, but we have a prototype, which is a big thing apparently. So these are some screenshots from our prototype. It's not a finished product. It's a vertical cut through our concept to prove our methodology and our innovation. Our system basically gathers terrain data for specific locations, for example, LiDAR and photogrammetry data for the terrain. It then gathers geographical data for the location, so we have soil conditions, meteorology, and climate. The algorithm then matches plant species to those local conditions from a large database. And then it gets really clever because we then use a physics engine technology from video gaming industries to optimize the positions of individual plants within the three-dimensional terrain. It optimizes them so that each plant has the correct amount of sunlight or shadow, the right soil moisture conditions, and the right protection from wind given by other plants around. So basically, we're optimizing relationships between individual plants within a complex system. And it does this to make sure that every plant is the most happy and healthy it can be. This means that we can fully automate the design of biodiverse forestry for any location in the world at mass scale. So this means a forester, for example, can design 10,000 hectares of biodiverse woodland across a mountain range and make sure that every tree is in its perfect habitat. It's the right tree in the right place at the right time. The effects of climate change have been modeled, fire mitigation has been optimized, and the forest supports the maximum biodiversity uplift, or is sequestering the maximum tonnage of carbon dioxide, or is supporting the highest value extraction for the location, or any combination of those three things. Because every tree has a precise location within the model, individual trees can be more easily monitored. Our system could be used in conjunction with drone planting, for example, and with drone harvesting because of the geolocation. Also, the geolocation of individual trees and the presence within the digital twin supports tokenization and digital verification. The prediction function of the twin can also be used to produce a compliance sheet against which forward eco-credits can be issued, and potentially offers huge value to MRV service providers, reducing MRV costs and reducing the time it takes to issue certification. And all of this data can be sent to government dashboards for national scale monitoring. So, also, the same technology can be used for designing agroforestry systems, which is what we're already using it for. So designing biodiverse greening and cooling situations for the urban environment and systems that contribute to urban food security. In these contexts, the geolocation of individual plants in the twin opens up huge possibilities for decentralizing the maintenance and management of urban community systems. Because each plant has a geolocation, we can send notifications to each plant and management tasks to each plant. So we can build out something like Pokemon Go for agroforestry. We believe our tech has a strong role in the eco-credits marketplace. It will help with the creation of new projects on the ground, and as you can see, there's a huge gap in that at the moment, which means we're in a strong position for partnerships with certificators and MRV because of the higher resolution data, the reliable data, the prediction and hypothesis testing, and baseline models that can be used as benchmarks. Yeah, so our business entry model, our market entry business model has multiple revenue streams and target groups. We will offer B2B decision support products and B2B integrations that close the knowledge gap for land stewards. And we'll also offer B2B ecological data services to eco-credit partners through data sales and commissions, or both. So we have a super focused team, very impact-driven, with a wide range of unique skills in agriculture, agroforestry, software development, and business development. I have 25 years of experience in horticulture and agroforestry. I see my role as a kind of translator between the analog world of complex biotic systems and the digital world of complex machine code. My co-founder, Nadine, is a serial entrepreneur who's previously founded one of the top 3 carbon footprint accounting solutions for corporations. And we have a large network of advisors and supporters across tech, regeneration, and supply chain. So we're currently raising funds to continue developing our partnerships and to execute a range of pilot projects, for example, in Czech Republic, in Prague, with Prague City Council, and as of yesterday, we're in conversation with Shibuya City in Tokyo to help them deliver what will become, hopefully, one of the largest agroforestry projects, urban agroforestry projects in the world, which is a 3.5-kilometer long forest garden that will stretch from a suburb into the center of Tokyo. So I hope that you find the possibilities of our tech as exciting as we do. Please come and find me if you want to book in a live demonstration of the prototype. And looking forward to our shared biodiverse and zero carbon future together. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. Our last presenter before we're having some sweeties, cookies, is Volker Weiss. And before you start, Volker, as mentioned, we are invited on a forest tour tomorrow. Beside Jonathan and me, who is likely to join tomorrow morning? So you. So we are probably 5. Yeah? Want to go? So 5. Yeah? 5 people? 5. You indicate me where to go. What time? I guess 5:30 in the morning would be fine to enjoy the sunrise. No, I suggest around 9:30, something like that. So go there and breathing some fresh air, getting some fresh thoughts, and etc., etc. So, Volker, your turn.
Thank you very much. I am Volker Weiss from the company Instant Seed. We are located in Brandenburg, and we are working on seed coating. We have developed a special sophisticated solution for seed coating to improve the survivability of seeds in tree seeding, make it better than we can do it today with direct seeding or with tree nursery seeding. So our main targets are simplify dramatically the tree seeding, make tree seeding additionally climate resistant, save seeds. Seeds are, we have a shortage on tree seeds. Next point is that we want to increase the sowing efficiency. That means more area with less personnel, also more area with less seeds, of course. Decrease the cost significantly, ensure a safe germination, and in general make the whole seeding climate resistant, and I will explain you how we do this. But before the problems we have, you have heard it already a few times today, we have in tree seeding the problems of dryness, longer dry periods, heavy rain, periods of heat, water shortage, groundwater level is sinking. We have more and heavier storms in the last years, in the future still more. And for the 2 types of seeding we have today, that means for seeding with seedlings from tree nurseries, we have the special problem of root deformations. About 70% of the roots are deformed and have later problems. That means tree losses by storms or drynesses. And the other seeding technology today, also 200 years old, is direct seed. Direct seed is easy but has a high seed consumption. And the disadvantage that dryness, birds, insects, beetles eat away the seed, and you have a lot of losses. Our solution is a very special coating, a coating where we put a part of the intelligence which happens normally when the seed falls to the ground and gets the ground contact and performs the conditions for the germination, that we put this intelligence into the matrix around the seed. That means we use materials like clay, silt, sand for forest tree seeds, a lot of sand, a bit starch, and other biomaterials, and a bit wax we use also. We put in water storing materials. Water storing materials normally you cannot treat with water because their volume then grows and you cannot really do the coating. But we have developed a very special coating, which we call dry coating. We need no water to do this. We do it in a different way. And the seeds, as you see it, are perceived by the animals as ground, as soil, and not as seed. And that's part of the animal protection. And we put a few materials in, also biological materials, natural materials, which help to support the germination. Next point is to explain the process. We have developed a batch process. Batch process means special quantities of tree seeds we use. That means 500 gram to 250 kilogram. For example, birch seeds, it's 1 kilogram, because it's very small seeds. For oak, for example, you would take 200 kilograms or 150 kilograms, and then they are coated in a special process using only natural materials, as I mentioned already, biobinders, trace elements, and a special wax, bio-wax, to bind all these materials without water. We developed these processes in the last 5 years. We started testing in the federal forestries in Germany, in North Rhine-Westphalen, in Bavaria, in Brandenburg, in Mecklenburg-Vorpommern. We did this for several years under NDA because we did not know which IP or patents would raise out of it. Meanwhile, we have patented a few points of this last year, 22, and since October 2022, we start to publish all the details to everybody, and everybody can see and read and get samples out of this. So what I want to show you is a very interesting examination which the Bavarian Forest made last year. They choose an area near the town of Bayreuth where we have the worst climate conditions. Last week we had 10 weeks of absolutely dryness, heat from 30 to 40 degrees, no rain, and they used several hectares for 3 types of seeding. The first type was a drone-based seeding, but also a coated seeding. The second case was direct seeding, as Bavarian Forest does it normally, best practice direct seeding. And the third case was our coated seeds. In September, end of September, after 5 months, the seeds were counted, and the very interesting result was in the first case, no emergence was seen, nothing worked, because in the 10 weeks of dryness and the heat, everything was dead, nothing survived. Was a best practice solution from the Bavarian forces. They wanted to reach 10,000 trees per hectare. They only reached 7,300. And with the same amount of seeds, but coated with our solution, it was nearly 40,000. That means 5.4 times more emergence than with the best practice solution up to today. And another important point is that with this solution I've described, we drastically decrease the costs of seeding in the whole process, from the seed costs, preparation of the surface where the seed has to be spread out, all the labor forces you need in technology, and compared with tree nursery seedlings, it's a cost decrease by 70 to 85% for the same emergence, and for the other case 10 by 15%. The market is very big, as you see, and what we want to do, this is my last but one picture, we want to roll out now this solution we have into production facilities in other countries. At the moment we have only one in Germany, 80 kilometers from here in Oranienburg. In the future, next places should be Sweden, Canada, and Turkey, probably. So you have an idea about the figures of such a modular plant we have. It's good for 50,000 hectare in average for a special seed mix. Investment is around 250,000 per plant. That means investment equipment. Revenue of such tree seeding is very profitable. We do this for the convenience area, grasses, flowers, and so on. It's much higher here, so we have a very high EBIT for such a plant. And we are looking for an investor who is supporting us to do these next steps. Thank you very much. Any questions, perhaps, during the coffee break? Thanks.
Okay. Thanks, Volker. We are now having coffee break, and after the coffee break, we are inviting you to our ultimate cinema session. It will be all online pitches after we try our luck with Mark and we try our luck with Mr. Priebe, and those who are scheduled in the online session are going to present to make sure that we have the online streamer with us as scheduled, and looks nice that we are going to finish up this forum in time, and then inviting you for our little barbecue Swiss Corner has prepared with the same caterer. So thanks and enjoy your coffee.